it fell out. Fucking whipped my phone at the wall by accident. So you want to hear something funny that happened to me right before this, like, all this shit happened? I'm getting started. So I ordered some food from Grubhub from a place I usually order from. It's a little bit far away. So I get a phone call from Grubhub. I'm like, oh, yeah, what the fuck is this? Cancel my order? Like, expect that shit sometimes. No, it's just a fucking white dude, like, asking me to, like...
Hey, it's a pretty far drive. Like, you should increase the tip to at least $5. It's like...
Okay, what the fuck? Who are you to call me? You're delivering the food to me. You said yes to deliver this food. Ain't my fucking problem that you rely on tips like this, bruh. I'm planning to do Grubhub. I'm planning to do that shit just to make a little bit extra money, not to fucking sustain myself. If that's your fucking issue, if you need more tips, if you want a bigger tip, you can come over and suck my dick.
Is that all it takes to get a bigger tip?
Exactly. I mean, if
you get two bigger tips in that regard.
If you order a pizza and they come in there and suck your dick to completion, would you not give them a bigger tip?
Hell yeah.
Come to your house, suck your dick, and not call you gay, but just ask for more money?
I mean, don't they see the tip amounts before they take the job?
Yeah. So I don't know what this guy's so good Samaritan or some fucking bullshit, but that tip was staying at $3. It actually went down to $2 after he called me. Then not even 15 minutes later, the next guy comes in, grabs the food, and basically gets in a car accident. So I'm thinking this guy's waiting for someone to pick up my food at the fucking place. They fucking beat him up or some shit. And it was a black guy to pick up the food the next time. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that man's got victim of a hate crime today.
Goddamn.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's my fun story for the stream. Right off the bat, that happened today.
Beautiful.
It's the Internet Bum Show.
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 Okay, so the other main program for tonight was discussing a combination of two sensitive topics, education and free speech. And I know that sounds like apples to oranges, but once we get to the clip I have for y'all, it'll make a little bit more sense.
I don't need you to explain. Let's get into it.
So we can go through the answers again. I can just read them out, or y'all can read them as I get to you.
How about you just pass it back to each of us and we read off our statements?
Alright, here.
Let's mix it up. I'll read my own. Jake will read his own.
Yeah, I'll definitely read my own. Because you botched it the first time.
Yeah, I did. Let me
and also allow us to kind of make sure that we are clear in what we're saying, so nothing gets lost in transition. You know what I'm saying?
Translation, you son of a bitch.
Translation, yeah.
Not lost in transition.
I said the wrong thing.
Are you transitioning out here?
Do you guys not realize yet? I say the wrong shit on purpose a lot.
No, I think you're having a stroke.
Like,
yeah.
Sensitive topic. Oh shit! My bad.
Suddenly regret.
I take it back.
You
sounds like you're having
regret.
Sounds like you've done too much acid.
You want to know the fucked up thing now, Jake?
What's that?
Is I can literally feel when that shit's about to happen, and it is the craziest fucking thing ever now.
What's it feel like?
Okay, the best way, you know how when you like smoke or whatever, and you get that like feeling rush through your body, like, oh, this is a good feeling and all of that shit. Yeah. It's like that, except your fucking senses go ballistic. You can't get a fucking thought through. Your arms and shit start getting like icy cold, and you feel your heart rate speed up. Everything tunes out, and all you hear is your heart beating. And then after that, it's like a high-pitched like sound in your ears. It's just your whole fucking body goes into this overload up until the point to where the last image that you see is whatever the fuck you're looking at. And then you snap back to you're either on the floor, you're in a hospital bed. Literally.
Get the fuck out of my head, Angel.
It's like he said snap back to reality.
Oh,
that's
Jesus Christ.
That's literally how it is. It's like one moment.
Leave me alone.
You're literally one moment you're here and the next minute you're not. and it is the craziest fucking thing in the world. And so when somebody
Weird.
tells me not to stress out, I immediately start getting stressed the fuck out. Chest gets tight, heart rate speeds up.
Your knees get weak and
All
your arms
tighten.
turn to spaghetti.
God
Or
My
no,
arms are just heavy.
It's fucking weird. And I felt that shit 2 strokes in. I've already felt that shit after everything has happened at least 15 different times.
Yo,
So
imagine
it's like
feeling
now.
if you're mid jerk off and doing that, and that
No.
happens to you.
No,
dude, I bet that'd
right.
be I bet that'd be the best nut
Constant
ever.
cum while stroking.
I'd be worried
Yeah.
of what the fucking EMS techs would think when they found me like that.
It wouldn't be the
That's
craziest.
not my problem. That's their problem.
Honestly, it probably would be the craziest way they found you
probably
because
think
we
worse.
have a buddy who his name is Patrick, yeah, and he was an EMS. Well, Klaus was EMS for a long time too.
Yeah.
And hearing some of the stories that they would tell me about their times, it's nuts, dude. They see way more crazy shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So many of my friends go into the field said the same kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like, dude, fuck this, and like they don't get paid for shit either, dude. That's fucked.
You want to tell me someone not getting paid?
Better
for
here
shit.
though than there. Well, no, U.S. gets paid better than here. That's right, and that's like still not enough. Some cases like crazy for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason a lot of people leave here for America, and like, and if coming from you saying that's they're not paid enough, like it's just wild.
If you know any women that want to get married for a visa, just let me know.
Wow.
Goddamn.
But they
You're saying
have
this
to have
right out in public, huh? That's
But
crazy.
they have to have sex.
And they can't have.
Oh,
and
wow.
their penis needs to be smaller than mine.
And they can't have a penis.
Hey, what's wrong with a lady boy? I'm just saying.
I don't want one.
It's not the Philippines.
I'm
Look,
sorry.
I've been to
What's
Guam.
wrong
I
with
know
a
what lady boys
femme
are.
boy? There we go. What's wrong with a femme boy?
I'm not in the boys.
They don't age like fine wine.
Damn.
All right, thoughts on education in the modern era?
No. We're not on education
We're on
anymore.
femboys now.
How do you know they don't age like fun? Well, I'm curious.
God damn it.
When's the last time you see an old femboy? Checkmate, liberal.
Fucking
liberal. Checkmate,
We
There's
now have
there,
a new sound
I don't
effect.
know what to tell you, man. He fucking got you there, dude. The fucking debate over. He won that one. He won that exchange.
He called me liberal. That's bullshit.
Checkmate,
Don't fucking
liberal.
worry. Don't fucking worry.
That shit was gold. That is a clippable moment.
Oh
Checkmate,
my
liberal.
fucking God.
All right,
Checkmate, liver
so
boy.
No
who wants
defense.
to read theirs first?
We
Their
can go
stance
in the
on
order I have it, or we can go whatever.
Oh
order.
my
I don't
god.
even
Tell
What
me
order
to
do you have it?
go.
Just read mine. It's fun.
I'll just go down the list, and as we get to it, if you're following along, read it when you see your name pop up.
Don't worry, I am all tabbed.
So I said that I thought education took a dive back when we were still in school. School schisms. School
Jesus
systems
Christ, are you
give
okay?
off the appearance of intending to do right for their students, but show piss poor results post execution of their chosen methods. The cliched
Pre-execution.
classic question is, will I use this at any point in my life? I think the
Oh,
more
yeah.
that we have to ask that question, the farther away we stray from what the youth of today actually needs. As far as individual teaching methods, I theorize that there was a good reason that students tended to get along better with older and more experienced teachers rather than younger and newer teachers. An older teacher, having had more experience, obviously will have developed various methods for engaging with students and teaching them. Another
A
reason
young
is
teacher might
because
try to
Bruh.
fuck you.
You mind if we like interject mid because this
Go
is
Because I
ahead.
find it the opposite.
like this is
myself.
like a really long answer, and from me and Jake's experience, us being younger guys teaching like the younger generation, I felt like we had a much greater impact on their actual education in the sense of like them actually understanding and having that give a fuck factor for
Yeah,
stuff.
some of those older instructors did not vibe very well, and
I
they
had so
got
much more engagement with students than any of the older teachers did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
like
enough.
when I went through for my
You're
education,
talking about like specific to when we were growing, like our school, man. Like you're talking
Yeah.
about like Miss and fucking,
I
Mr.
was literally about to get to that.
Yeah, you're
But,
talking about
but
like
go
onesie
ahead.
twosies, man. That's it. Keep going.
Another reason is because as older teachers get closer to retirement, they appear to care less and less, making more relaxed in teaching environments, which actually surprisingly allows a more positive environment between them and their students. Case in point, In contrast, a newer and younger teacher who is fresh out of the can will be a lot harder to learn under and understand. Not saying you guys in particular because you've all already proven that you can, but what I'm saying is they haven't had as much experience in dealing with students, so their teaching methods won't be as fine too. The newer teachers that also come in seem to have a chip on their shoulders where they try to hold on to authority a lot more and allow less coloring outside the lines, for lack of a better phrase.
What do you
In
mean
other words,
color?
my way or kick.
Damn it.
Can we get a step in here? First question, what do you mean color? But also, I feel like teachers and teachers nowadays are coming in with what their morals are and trying to apply those to people that they shouldn't be applying those to people. Like how they
Yeah.
basically trying to insert their own beliefs into the younger generation in a sense.
Yeah. So here's the example I have for that. I had to take biology 3 times in high school. The first time because I didn't give a shit. Second time because I didn't give a shit. Third time I was tired of fucking dealing with it, so I actually took it seriously.
And didn't give a shit.
And I had a digital planner on my school laptop that they had given me. And the teacher in question had literally just assigned us a homework assignment. And my memory is so fucking shit sometimes that if I don't fucking make a note or do whatever it is I'm intending to do right away, I will forget about it and I will not do it. Jake and AJ can tell you hundreds of fucking times where I said I was going to do something and I did not fucking do it at all.
Yeah,
And
you people annoy me.
The best excuse I can give them is, sorry, man, I forgot. So I put the assignment in my little planner. Things like, okay, I got to do this tonight. It's due tomorrow. And the teacher using that little weird shit that they can do where they can see all their students' screens without having to stand behind them. She said,
Christian, I need you to put away your laptop. We're not working on that right now.
and I'm like, I want to be like, bitch, I'm writing your fucking assignment down. Like, back the fuck up.
Or
But
you
it's
just
because
smack
I
the
wasn't
fuck up.
paying attention to what she was saying in that exact moment. And she could see it's my fucking planner. She had seen it before.
Was that Miss?
She knew exactly. No. This was.
She used to troll the fuck out of me.
I believe this woman's name too, but her name was like we were one of her
Never
first
heard of her.
classes ever teaching. Like Grissom was her first school teaching it, and we were one of her first classes. So she came in not with a fucking chip on her shoulder, but a whole ass bag of fucking Lay's trying to hold on to some goddamn authority.
Oh, you say a whole
Like-
bag of Lay's, like the chips?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Mhm.
She didn't have a
Yep.
chip on her shoulder. She had a whole bag of Lay's. Get it? Get it?
Oh.
God damn it.
Yeah, you're a little slow there, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm in reading and fucking doing other stuff.
Said you're inbreeding?
Yeah, I'm in reading right now.
Yeah.
So AJ told me to read his answer, and his is short, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut through it. Mike, if you want to, you can read yours after.
Damn, he said fuck the guy.
Right.
Modern education is dumbing our children down worse, making them want to drop out, turn to the streets, and find ways out. America is failing academically.
Okay.
Okay.
That's your thought, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then Mike, you're next, I
Mine?
guess.
Let me just grab it back from where I messaged council. Find that here.
I mean, it's
What,
there or it's
do
in
you
the
have-
outline.
Do you
I
have
got
what's
you.
his name's argument, Christian? The other guy?
Thomas's? Yeah, his is
Yeah.
at the bottom.
I got it here.
Gotcha.
I'll read his when we get to it.
Okay, so I guess I'll add on to mine from that last one too in the middle of it also. I say modern teaching, at least in Canada, has become a place where every facet of teaching is focused on the teacher, teaching teacher's job. But managing the student, the problem students, providing challenge for is second question just to make sure, council, right?
Yeah, it's the education one.
Okay. Yeah, the one you asked me in the first place. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm saying the right one. Providing challenge for excelling students, helping lagging students, teaching the whole class is normal. But there's planning to hit like various education goals, but they leave it up to you for how to get there. So it can be customized, but it just requires so much fucking planning with the way they leave it open, and that it's not as structured in kind of going the whole other direction. There's not enough education assistants to help you out, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing online, honestly, because I'm enjoying that side more. So you're being dragged to teach these struggling students who need direct attention from another help or from another person for help, and they're usually doing something like lower grade, modified work, things like that. And if you don't have enough help to modify the work for these students, so many times, like if you don't have someone dedicated to it, because I know I did when it was the online schooling when I was teaching up island, and then I didn't when it was in person before that point. So it's kind of like just so much shit when I didn't even have my teaching degree at that point too. But even as a new teacher, it was like a lot. You expect to take care of most parts of things like trips as well, and outside of class stuff, and they like there's so much expectations upon those teachers too, beyond what you're like basically already spending all your time for. Mainly as a new teacher, it gets easier at the end. Like I mentioned, the accounts that I was mentioning from last question of like the pay gets better as you go further, but it becomes easier. But the struggle is that beginning area for there where you're just doing so much. And so to put it more simply, there's a lot of openness and customization for modern teaching, but there's not enough supports for all the things expected of you, especially as a new teacher where you expect to spend every evening planning to keep up the courses, expectations, at least for the first 2 years, which is usually what you hear of. Like that's the kind of burnout period for a lot. And then not really paid enough to fully take summers off for the rest of the time with inflation, without that all talk. And to add on to that, when you're saying about for the US with their, I could imagine it's like even worse with there's no student engagement. And I'm at least happy Canada's like trying to do that. And but there's so many old teachers that don't get re-education anyway, that they are still teaching like the US method that you're mentioning, where it's like it's stagnant, not getting kids interested. They're fucking boring. So it's like, but then on the other hand, you don't have any help for yourself when you are doing the good kind of teaching.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to take too long because I've already gone on long about this part, but what you were talking about, the engaging part, that teacher I was complaining about, this is an example of the kind of teaching she did. She's one of those teachers that thinks like parody videos of songs for like subjects and shit is cool. The song Maps by Maroon 5, she found a fucking parody science song about like the cell and its parts.
Ew.
And played that for us in class. And she's like, "Was that school?" And we're all
Sounds like
just
this.
we're like, what the fuck was this? I was like,
that's
for
probably
one,
the
I don't
worst
even
thing you
like
can
the
do.
song Maps. So one, that wasn't, you're not even gonna win that aspect of it. And then second, but go on, Jake. Your answer's next.
You sound like a total bitch.
Not bad.
Right.
But
So, my answer is that I struggled with education growing up, and I wish that I had a more tailored way to learn. So I taught for 3 years as a post-secondary instructor. Me and Angel both did, but I taught both in a session level. So it's like people that are just being introduced into the military. I taught there a session level school where I would take people that are fresh out of high school, college, the workforce, wherever, especially since we were there during COVID. We were training people that were, losing their jobs because of COVID, or like needed a different out because COVID is fucking their life up.
Or trying to get out of like a bad situation back at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then again, you still had your people that were sitting at home for the past like 2 years at this point that had zero like experience being out in the world because they were confined to their homes. So, I didn't know my learning style when I was younger. I didn't even know there were different types of learning styles until I went and taught these courses. The second course I taught was like a journeyman level course where I had to teach people how to do a job. And like I had to do like run scenarios and shit with them. But I didn't know about these learning styles, and to this day I still don't really know my learning style. I just kind of learn, I guess. But I had a lot of really great teachers growing up, to include Miss and they would always help me to do my best in the courses, but I only ever truly excelled at things like English, poetry, creative writing, things of that nature, like more artistic stuff. And math and sciences were always like bare minimum. Like I'm like Christian, I was not allowed to fail classes or I'd get my ass beat by my parents.
Yeah, same.
So if I got below a 75, I got beat. Right.
Same.
We're grounded. And
same.
when we started e-learning our junior year and senior years of high school, we weren't like e-learning like the kids from the COVID era are or were.
Yeah.
We were e-learning like they gave us, like he said, they gave us laptops in class and we could take those laptops home. And dude, that really stunted my my ability to learn, because I can't focus for shit. Like I get super distracted. It's really hard for me to do that. And when we were in class with computers, all I would be doing was playing games on my computer or like just doing something else. I haven't really done too much to research on what's being taught in schools now or how teachers are really teaching, but I know that they are definitely not getting paid nearly as much as they should for the jobs that they're doing. And I get why a lot of them are burnt out and choose not to put forth as much effort in their teaching, because at the end of the day, why are you going to put forth that much effort into something you're barely getting paid for? You get treated like shit by the students and other faculty all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
no
at that
kidding.
point, you're just sitting there just trying to collect a pension. You know what I mean? But when I became an instructor, it was like I wanted to do everything that those cool teachers like implemented. I wanted to be just personable, right? I wanted to not appease people, like that's not the word I'm looking for, but I wanted to be able to teach to everyone's learning style at the same time, which is kind of where, you know, like getting to the learning styles of like verbal, the visual, oral, kinesthetic learners, which was kind of hard for the first course I was teaching because you can't really have them put hands on things. But the second one that I was teaching was super like, you know, I could implement everything. And that's why I got like a bunch of award recommendations and shit while I was there, is because I just fucking picked it up super quick. And I thought from the perspective of how would I want to learn, or how do I learn, or what would make it easier? And I feel that if teachers were getting paid better and we're doing kind of what Mike was just talking about, where like you kind of get like a not necessarily re-education, but like a constant training, or like formal, hey, you know, just making sure everyone's up to a standard here.
Yeah.
I think that would probably pan out a little bit better.
Which is what Pro D days are supposed to be that we have. I don't know how it is for America on that. Professional development
working days.
Yeah, and that's what they're supposed to be for, though. But like, so many of the workshops that I went to with all those things, like, honestly didn't tell you shit about the base level of stuff. And that's the problem, is that a quick session of anything like that can't do enough for how like just stuck in it a lot of these like older people especially are.
Well, one cool thing with the courses that me and Angel taught that we ended up getting to do was that we, like for me, for example, I did this to Angel a few times. I would have to evaluate other instructors, right? Like I had to go in there with a piece of paper and identify whether or not they were teaching to the standard. And if they weren't, I only ever failed like one or two people because it was like gross negligence. But I would always follow up and be like, hey, yo, you know, might want to, you know, work on this. Don't forget about this. And I wouldn't like belittle our instructors unless they were the one person that I belittled because he was being a fucking cock. But
and short.
Yeah, and short, and had diabetes.
Nah, burger.
Scott Tenorman. But yeah, that's kind of that's the skinny on my end.
Since I'm just gonna jump into the tail end of your basically your statement, because it's right as well. Like my difference between the course I taught later down the line was that more hands-on course, and me and Jake kind of did the same thing. We were more personable, and we wanted to make sure that everyone can understand what we're teaching, because we understood that the job we were teaching was not something that comes easy to anybody, especially someone straight out of high school who's never worked, never done any of this shit before. We were one of the most popular instructors throughout our time there, because our students understood that we not necessarily dumb everything down, but we brought it down to a level that anybody can come in and understand. Like,
yeah, dude, we even had students that had language barriers. Like, I'm talking like Puerto Ricans and I didn't know this, considering that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. I figured that they taught English in every Puerto Rican school, or that they would at least give them like a working knowledge of English. They don't. It's not a well-known thing. And so we had to teach Puerto Rican students that didn't speak a lot of English. Now, granted, and this is where we have a huge polarity of the new generation of people that are like, oh, I don't know, life is hard, I want to give up. And then these adults who are learning a whole new language in their off time so that they can pass this fucking course because they know it'll help their family, right? They know that'll help their situation tremendously if they can just pass this fucking course. Like, granted, we had a few that we had to drop because they just couldn't get it because they couldn't.
Yeah, it was a situation where we had one that didn't try to learn English in order to try to get better at it. But it's a situation where even if they did, they were not gonna make it through the course. Like they didn't have like basically the TISM to get through the course. Yeah, we were. I think we were pretty well known for fucking around like that too.
Yeah, when I say I was personable, I actually had a talking to once or twice about being like, "Hey, man, you might be chumming it up a little bit too much with the students," and I was like, "How?"
Yeah, I got that.
And
too.
I was like, I banter with them, but that shows that you're a person, and it makes them want to listen to you more instead of a fucking learning Nazi. And they were like, "Well, I'm just making sure that you don't cross any boundaries." And I was like, "When I cross the boundary, you can tell me. Until then, fuck off."
Yeah, like we both got that talk, and it's always like, "Are we successful? What we're facilitating?" Yes.
Yep. Then leave me alone.
Fuck off.
Then fuck off. All right. So, are we on to the next question now?
No, we're on to Angel's answer, which is a one-line answer.
Literally, I tacked mine into the back of his, but my when I was reading the prompt, I went for like a public because I have a public school education. I didn't have the computer stuff when I was growing up, when I was going through school, but looking at it now, like basically just fucking seeing the dumb shit you see online for about what's being taught in schools, it doesn't seem like it's more like actual education. It's more of the political beliefs being implanted into people. In which I think people should be allowed to get their own beliefs on stuff. They shouldn't have someone else's beliefs being pushed onto them. But
agreed.
I don't necessarily have experience in that specific kind of teaching field. My teaching field is with military teaching and getting people understanding on how to do a job that they've never heard of, never even comprehended, or even thought of. Like when I got to that specific course, like the higher level course I was teaching how to basically interpret. I'm gonna say maps because I don't want to say what specific I was helping them interpret, but how to use programs in order to interpret maps and get better definition, better meaning from these things. So that for the older generation of people I did teach was a little bit harder for them because of the new programs, stuff like that. Younger generation basically grabbed on it quickly. Got a few here and there that just couldn't get it, but like that's kind of my background is just teaching adults, and well, if you consider people 18 or people who are 24 and can't figure out how to pay their own bills, adults, that's what I taught.
Johnny, your answer is next. If you want to read it, or I can read it here for you.
Yeah, I'll read it out.
It's in the DMs or in the outline, whichever you fancy.
Yes, it goes down in the DM.
Damn, yep, me and AJ. It had to be us.
Definitely.
Just for context, at least in my experience, high school, because I know like America's got like junior high and middle high and all these fucking different school systems. High school for me is just grade 8 to 12.
Okay, so ours is 9 to 12.
Yeah.
9 to 12? All right.
Yeah, so the middle school is, or junior high / middle school is just anywhere from grade 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Fair play. So my answer was like, again, this is like almost a Canada-wide thing, but we're supposed to be teaching competencies instead of content now. So for like a gym class, you're not doing like a unit on softball and then like a unit on volleyball. You still teach those sports, but instead the emphasis is on like refining your movement and learning how to like play team sports and be cooperative, stuff like that. You still like teaching the same stuff, but the goal of what you are trying to teach is different now. So I like that idea, but because if you ask like any university student what they learned in high school, no one's going to remember anything, because like we don't remember really like what we learned in high school. We remember like a lot of like the lessons, right? And maybe some like the valuable quotes people told us. But apart from that, no one's remembering any of the content we learned in high school.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared, baby.
What I learned in boating school is
I can do this. What I learned in boating school is
the powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah, facts. And with how accessible technology has become in the last decade, I think it's made teaching a bit more difficult. So, I mean, students are always glued to their phones now. And I mean, I'm 28. So when I was in high school, I think like the iPhone 4 was like just coming out. Like
Jesus, you're old.
Yeah, I like remember like the first iPod that was like a fucking
Did,
brick
wait, did
and
you
it had
turn
like this cool
28
like
this
wheel.
year? Like, did you turn 28 this year?
Last winter. I'm turning 29 this year.
Okay, because I also fall in the old category now.
Yeah, you are, you fucking oldie.
My hip.
So it's like
It's like age.
Continue, Johnny.
Tech back in the day wasn't as like interactive as it is now. And I mean with like how explosive the growth of like generative AI is nowadays, it's so easy for students to just like not do anything. And that along with the fact that there's no real accountability or repercussion for students because in grades 8 and 9, at least in BC, they get pushed along. Like you can't fail grade 8 or grade 9.
What?
If you do nothing, like if your student does absolutely nothing in grade 8 or grade 9, I believe how it works is the school will like kind of send a letter to the parents or guardians and be like, hey, your like student hasn't met the required or hasn't met the expected outcomes. They're like, can we work on a plan like over the summer to like get them up to speed? But if they're like, no, it just, all right, grade 9. And so,
Jesus.
yeah, so grade 10 is the first grade where you can technically fail, right? And so I just don't see how that helps students later in life like develop like human skills.
Yeah, and I get that entirely because so I have a brother and I have a couple, but this one specifically is in grade 12, right? So this is supposed to be his final year. But every year he is dredged to the line. So he was in like a special school for a few years. I guess he met in with the wrong crowd. That crowd was like, you're a fucking nerd, bro. You care too much about school. So he let that affect him, right? And so now he is a senior and he has like a 20 average. He doesn't go to he doesn't go to school. He does whatever the fuck else he wants to do. And there's nothing that the school can do except for like hit my parents up and say, hey, if he doesn't go to school, you guys are going to jail. And my brother doesn't believe that that's real. Well, he doesn't believe it's a real thing because he doesn't understand that life has real fucking consequences, right? And I feel like that right there in itself is kind of hand in hand with your argument of like, yeah, we're not giving these kids teachable skills. They're not understanding that life has consequences. There's consequences to the actions or your act. It's either your actions or your failure to act. There are consequences either way, right? And I feel like that needs to be honed in on. Addressed and honed in on for this new generation because all these fucking kids just like even with what I've accomplished right in like my couple of years in the service and then like doing what I do now, my brother thinks that it can just happen to him and he doesn't understand like the endless days, hours, weeks that I had where I was busting my fucking ass on the break or on the verge of breaking someone's fucking face. Because I was that fucking frustrated and having to deal with so much stress and how much stress I put myself through because,
to your forehead.
Oh yeah. And I got a stapler thrown on my forehead. Yeah. I mean, like I had a lot of shit happen that got me to where I'm at now to include like getting a degree. He doesn't understand that, education has its place. And he's like, oh, well, in the military, if I join the military, if I do this, like, yeah, but you're saying if. You're already giving yourself a way out, bro. Like, you're not really about shit that you say you're about, right? And I'm like, you realize that I have a college education. That's why I get to do the stuff I get to do. And he's like, well, I can just get a college education later. I'm like, I don't think you will.
I don't think you can. Honestly.
Yeah, especially with the grades that you got, bro. Good luck getting into a college eventually, man. Good luck.
Even off the grade, like even without the grades, if your mentality is always if, then you're never gonna get shit done. Like legit, there was a point where I was just like, if I do this, then this will happen. If I do that, then that'll happen. Then I just was like, you know what? Fuck it. And the sad thing about that is sometimes the do now, think later method doesn't always work. But if you apply that motherfucker the right way, you can get a lot of shit accomplished because you can't like push a mountain out the way if you don't attempt to even make that motherfucker move. Metaphorically speaking, look at what's that dude's name? David Goggins. Like that guy is damn near beast level, and
I hate that example.
You want okay? Let's get off of that example then.
Honestly, I hate David Goggins, and it's not because of who he is; it's because of his mentality.
I got you.
Yeah,
Let's
it's not.
get off
It's
of that one.
again, he's accomplished a lot of great shit, but he's also I just have opinions, man. Everybody has opinions. We're just gonna keep it at that.
All right, we're
That's why
gonna
we're
take it
here.
off of him. Let's get on one of my personal like favorites, CT
Andrew Tate.
Fletcher. No, God no. Like legit, CT Fletcher. Like
Who?
he's been, you know, like one of the biggest heavy like lifters and shit like that. And he had open heart surgery, died 3 times, came back, and he's still pushing it and doing everything that he needs to. Hell, I look at him. I had open heart surgery. They were telling me that I wasn't going to be able to fucking play sports for longer than 5 fucking minutes. Like just a few years ago, I hit a pinnacle in my life. I literally ran a fucking mile in under 10 minutes nonstop. I wasn't supposed to be able to do that. And here it is. It's all about mentality. And that ties in with education too. If these new fucking teachers don't have a mentality to help these children out, then they're fucking failing. Like, I commend you and Angel for what y'all did because y'all wanted to interact and y'all wanted to bring in the children and or the people that you're talking to. Y'all wanted to connect with them, and it's all about relativity, and it's all about how you connect with somebody if you want them to learn something. If you don't connect with nobody, you're not going to give a fuck what you teach them or what they retain. Seriously, it's all about the mentality. If you don't have a mentality or a heart or a spirit or a will to like try to help somebody do anything, you're not going to do it. And that goes along with the child too. If you don't have a mentality or a will or like a fire to keep going and do something, you're not going to do shit. And then when that happens, you can't complain and say that nobody tried to help you when you start making bad decisions.
Yep.
It's a fucked up world that we live in. It's really sad and it pisses me off because hell, just like you, Jake, when you were talking about if you bought a 75 home, you got your ass whooped. I brought a C home one time. I got my ass whooped for at least 30 fucking minutes because my mom literally drove into my head. You are smarter than that. And I've literally, ever since that fucking point, I've been bringing home A's and fucking B's. Like maybe a few B's and more A's. My teachers are like, what the fuck? I literally did that. I did one thing. I'll say one thing that I did that was completely stupid, and it was just for a fucking test. I failed all of my classes on purpose 1 year just to get to the end of the year and bring them all back up to high B's. I did that shit because I can, like I literally did that shit. I can look at a test, take that bitch, flip it over, get my test back, and I get an A. That's how I've always been in my life. And I'm still pushing forward. Hell, I'm trying to learn IT and security plus shit now. Something way out of my comfort zone. But goddamn it, the payoff is going to be fucking incredible.
Absolutely.
People just don't want to fucking apply themselves anymore. And they would much rather sit by the wayside and say, woe is me all their fucking life. And honestly and truthfully, that's why I cut off a lot of fucking people. Because thinking every goddamn day you're gonna just party and bullshit and get by and this is gonna happen and you're just gonna work at Burger King or Taco Bell your whole fucking life and not get anything accomplished, that's the way you want to go out? That's your fucking legacy? Okay.
And then cry about it when you don't get anywhere.
It's just like, you gotta get the fuck away from me. Like, you literally do. So, tying back into what we were talking about with like the wages and shit, some people settle for that shit. Meanwhile, I'm like, no, I can't do that because you ain't gonna put your foot on my neck and keep me right there because I push you out a fucking window. It's just like, if you don't want to pay me, then I'm gonna dip. But don't try to kiss my ass while I'm halfway out the fucking door talking about I'll give you this and I'll give you that. You should have gave me that shit in the beginning. Then you wouldn't have this fucking problem.
Dude,
but nobody wants to think about that.
When I was processing out of the military, bro, you know how many people were like, yo, what do we got to do to keep you in?
Exactly.
Like, there is nothing you can do.
One time we were walking out and you got pulled to the fucking side for that. That shit was like every time.
They were like, hey, I heard that you were signing your quota away. I was like, yes. They were like, nah, come in my office. And I'm like, God damn it, I'll talk to you later, Angel. And I go in there, and sure enough, it was like, I could just make a couple phone calls, and we could have this whole thing situated. I was like, I'm good. I was like,
I'd have been like, why didn't you make these phone calls last week?
Well, no, that was my thing. Is I told them, I was like, I've made up my mind, and you guys are very you guys should have been proactive about this from the beginning when I told you what I was about. Because I told them from the jump, if I do not get this specific
if you
training,
didn't get X, you're not going to give Y. And
I said, if you don't give me this, I'm not staying in, and I'm going to go and make my legacy outside of the military because you guys are holding me back. You're holding me hostage of my true potential. And they were like, yeah, sure, man, whatever. And I was like, and this is something weird too. For some reason, I don't know what it is about my face, about me just maybe like keeping things lighthearted all the time. But no one believes me when I tell them I'm going to do something. And it's not like there's any merit to their belief, dude. I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah,
right?
I believe that.
And and sure enough, I told them that, and they were like, yeah, okay, buddy. And I was like, I'm being serious. And they're like, uh-huh, sure. So when that thing happened and I was told that I would not be getting that training, I said, okay, that's fine. And I went and I signed my quota away that day. And they all got super butthurt and said, well, what the fuck, man? Like, you can't just make a decision like that. I was like, I actually can. It's my fucking career. And I told you guys exactly what would happen.
It's
I was like, I'm a man. I am a man of action. I'm not somebody who sits here and just gives empty fucking threats. It was not a threat. I was telling you what was going to happen. Here it is.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Big fact.
Let's keep going. We've got one more answer, and then we move on to the other half of the topic.
And one thing I want to add, Council, for that.
Go ahead.
That motivation that you're saying, but also like so much applies to teachers. There was one person who was from my community that went to the school I went to, and I was tutoring the Math Learning Center, and I overheard them with a bunch of friends in the teaching program that they were in for elementary, like talking. It's like, I don't know math, and I don't really need to know because it doesn't really matter for me teaching elementary. I'm like, they rely on this shit as a basis, and like they don't even know the motion. You think the kids are? Holy fuck!
I mean, I would say out of the 4 fundamental fucking subjects that are taught in school, math and like whatever language you speak would probably be the most fucking important. It's like science and history are important as well, don't get me wrong, but in your day-to-day life, you don't need to know the fucking makeup of a cell or what president was what president what fucking year.
Mitochondria's powers of the cell.
You need to know how to do your fucking taxes and speak to the fucking person helping you do them. That first and foremost is what you need to be knowing.
For fuck's sake, can we stop teaching the goddamn Pythagorean theorem? I guarantee you that shit will not help you when there's a gun to your head.
I mean,
recite Pippin dust,
more for
motherfucker.
building and fixing up your house than a lot of other things can, at least.
Someone how to shoot, so I guess I mean,
yeah, exactly. There you go.
We know we need it, dude.
Helps you out with building a house and like other generic tasks that you really don't think about it sometimes, but it is still there. At least it's more useful than some things. Other things you could be learning. I'll give it that. Like, I get most things don't use it.
Teach people how to actually speak Spanish, so when somebody calls them a puto, they know what the fuck they're saying. Just saying.
Okay. So Thomas's answer regarding education is short and sweet. He said, "Well, the main thing that comes to mind right now, and as I'm reading this, I'm realizing it's very similar to Johnny's, is the prevalence of AI generating writing assignments for students. That's got to be a disaster right now. Beyond that, it would be getting into more personal stories about my experience, which is mostly band related." So flipping the script.
Real quick question for Mike, because I heard you say that you did like online teaching. Were you one of those professors that made people do discussion posts and then respond to at least 2?
Oh no, flip that. I was teaching for elementary school math, so it was more just assignments, stuff like that. I kept it more open than all the other teachers too, so I was able to be flexible. With other teachers like, we must meet at this time. This during the whole like break and online. And I'm like, nobody's gonna do that.
Okay, I was curious because that was the question I was going to ask you way earlier, because I have a professor currently in my master's program that makes us respond to 3 fucking people with at least 300 words in each response in our initial post. I made an initial post the other day, and I had 700 words in that post, right? And normally the quota is like 200, 250. And he makes it like 350. So I did 700 and something odd words. I provided 5 sources, and he said you could have done more.
Yeah. I
What
think
the
those
fuck?
things are useful depending on the subject and to an extent. And if he's saying it that much as a forum post, yeah, fuck no. That's the to the extent part. 100%.
I was mad, dude. I was big mad.
Yeah.
And another thing about that goes back to how engaging you are with your students. If your students don't fucking like you, the last thing they want to do is write a fucking essay to talk to you.
Well, my problem is he has good information. He provides good context to shit, but he asks way too much. Because I'm in 5 master's courses right now, dude. I'm in 5, and that's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot, especially having like a full-time job, trying to stream, make music, do literally everything that I have going on in my life at the same time.
Day in the Life of Jake, Part 2.
Yeah, to have a professor like this is just it's abysmal. Like, again, great information. If it was the only class I had a week, that'd be fine. But god damn it. Like on a light week, like this week I had 5 discussion posts, and I guess that's 13 or 14 responses, and that motherfucker on top of us having a post this week and 2 and 3 responses, we also have to write a fucking 8-page paper. Like, get fucked, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, get fucked. But all right, we can move on to the next one. The next one's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, flipping the script, the other half of this topic, and trust me, I know it seems weird to combine education free speech. Once y'all see the clip, it'll make more sense. Free speech. So I feel like we're running short on time because we're already an hour and a half in. So I'm gonna run through these. My answer was I consider free speech and the other liberties that we have to be beautiful and wonderful things, but along that same line of thinking, a lot of freedoms can also be burdens. Everyone should be allowed to think and say whatever they like in the same way that you or I would. But in the digital age and in a world of competition, deception, misinformation, and uneducation, the right of freedom of speech can be quite a burden for the person exercising that right. Or not for the person exercising that right, but for those who are unfortunate enough to have to hear what that person is saying. In absolutely no way whatsoever is this liberty an evil or wrongful thing that people shouldn't have. Everyone is different. Everyone likes different things. Everyone has different viewpoints. Everyone should be allowed to express themselves in whatever way they choose. But in order to continue to allow everyone the ability to exercise this freedom and others, there should be some sort of countermeasure to aid against the misuse of these liberties. Not necessarily censorship, but some sort of other way of saying this isn't right. At the end of the day, especially regarding misinformation, if someone is educated well enough, they should be able to wade through all of the bullshit and come out with a clear sense of what they do and don't believe on their own, regardless of how many people on any side of an argument are using their freedom of speech to express their own thoughts.
Okay. This is a hot topic right now, especially with what they're trying to pass in Canada.
That's what they're trying to pass in Canada. I'm uneducated.
I'll get there.
Okay.
When it's my turn.
Running through AJ's real quick because he was a lot quicker with his. Free speech is censored and people are being killed for speaking their minds.
Okay, I agree.
Mike,
Dude, you just said Mike, so I'm like, what? Like I have cut.
Well, I mean, it's your turn. Do you want me to read yours?
Oh, sure, just read mine, yeah.
Okay, so Mike said, I think everyone should have free speech, but the problem is this relies on respect for others, which many people don't seem to have. You also should have the right to not have to hear what people are talking about things you don't care about, and that only happens if people stop when you tell them you don't want to hear it anymore. There's also the decency to read the room when you're willingly going into a place to anger people with your free speech.
In quotes. With that free speech at the last part.
Okay. Who's next?
You.
Oh, okay.
You're not following
You were
along?
cutting out. It didn't come through.
Yeah, my bad. So free speech isn't free. That's my tagline here.
Freedom isn't free.
It costs to live in a place where free speech. All right, I'll just restart since you guys think it's a joke.
They were laughing at AJ singing.
It costs to live in a place where free speech is truly free, and in today's climate, saying the wrong thing will get you hemmed up and either canceled on the internet, canceled by your employers, put you on a watch list, or find you in deep waters with the federal government. Many countries don't allow freedom of speech at all, and any criticism of government officials or other high-profile figures can land you in jail, prison, re-education camps, or even taken in a blacked-out van and executed. It happens every fucking day across the world, and I can give you a couple of examples, and one of them is going to be North Korea. with the 3 generations of punishment rule. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that or not.
I have heard of that one, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that one. There's obviously the CCP, and you can look up the Skynet system that they have. It's a real thing. It's a funny name for their system because it's 1984, and social credit, all of that takes into account. When you take into account the differences and consequences of freedom of speech and thought from country to country, I'd say ours is one of the lesser evils, considering when I make a stupid joke or say something on the line or have a friend like Christian who spouts racial slurs all the time, I don't have to fear for my front door getting kicked in by my government and facing execution because I made a joke about how I don't like Bernie Sanders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people also use freedom of speech as a cop-out to make threats and false accusations and try to hide behind, well, I can say what I want, freedom of speech, bro. But really, like, that's not what it's there for, right? It's to be able to speak your mind and speak up for what you believe in when you see that things aren't going the way that they should. Now, like, when I see these goobers go on public campuses and say shit to people to kind of like instigate something, or like have people that are like, this is our land to speak, you leave, and it just becomes a huge fucking thing. It's annoying. I do think it's really interesting that this is the week that this happens with that we started talking about this, with how Canada, specifically your favorite member of the Canadian government, Justin Trudeau, is trying to pass that bill to make hate speech, quote unquote, online a punishable offense by prison, like imprisonment for, I think it's up to 15 years or 25. And it covers literally any sort of thing that the government deems hate speech online. You can go to prison for that now, or not yet. That's what they're passing in Canada. So it's weird to see how this is constantly devolving. I mean, granted, it's Canada and it's Justin Trudeau. I mean, like, if I make a joke and I'm Canadian about Justin Trudeau smoking crack, that's hate speech, right?
How often will they actually use it because it's Canada, though?
I don't know. No telling.
Yeah, exactly. No telling.
As a habitual victim of bullying, I feel like that's absolutely outrageous and too steep. I would sooner think that like restriction of internet access would be a more fitting and appropriate punishment for something like that if you want to try and punish that at all. But I think a better solution for that would be to help grow people a better fucking spine. Literally every episode he's been in, Jake has done almost nothing but fucking flame me. And do I cry about it? No. I just call him a bitch and I fucking move on.
Well, it's because it's funny, and I would like to hear every clip of you calling me a bitch because that's never happened.
Exactly.
Wow. He's going to take you to court on that one. Take that, liberal.
Where's the papers?
Canada.
Take that, liberal. Take that.
That's going to be the title of this episode. Take that, liberal.
And then put Angel's face on it.
It's a fucking picture of Jake pointing at me while I'm fucking pulling my eyes out.
Oh my god.
I'll have to come up with something.
Hovering over me.
It'd be like Angel's face, but like translucented out, like the fucking background of shit. Like when you do your ancestor, whatever, that's looking down on you, it's just Angel's face looking at shit.
I've got it. Me pointing to you, saying "Take that, liberal," and then Angel is the sun from Teletubbies over me.
Hell yeah, I'm down for that.
No.
He's the baby son from Teletubbies.
Then you just hear a little baby laugh.
On a serious tip, like since we're talking about freedom of speech and shit like that, there are so many people that are like actually getting butthurt over like the dumbest fucking shit, and they're getting so pissy if somebody says like a joke to him or something like that, or they say something that they don't agree with and everything like that, and everybody wants to cry and get upset. For the entirety, I will literally, and I mean it, for the entirety of my fucking life up until this point in my life, I've been picked on, ridiculed, joked. I've even had women say that I wouldn't be a good fucking father. I've had like so much shit said against me, and I literally just got a thick ass skin about it. So if somebody cracks a joke on me, I clap one back at them. I'm not finna cry or get upset or get pissy about it This world is turning to a bunch of, in the black community, a bunch of BANs, and that's literally what they're turning into, and
What's
it's
that mean?
goddamn sad. No.
No,
It's
he can T-Mobile it out.
all right, T-Mobile it out. The world is turning to a bunch of bitch ass, and it's sad.
That's what I thought, but I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I said BAM. I was like, what the fuck is a BAM?
Yeah,
No,
remember.
No.
I'm old.
When we did bad poetry reading and AJ's AI voice said the word, I didn't bleep it out. As long as no one else says it, we don't have a fucking problem here.
Well, we can't say and then bleep that. Just bleep that, so it sounds like I said.
Sounds like you said it. Yeah.
Whoa, that's my son. He's also known as a Nick. All right, so but like the world is turning into a big pile of fuck, and it's crazy
You
because
mind if I jump in for a second, because this kind of gets into my prompt, what I said for it.
Go for it.
And basically, how I said it was like it's freedom of speech is being abused in the worst way possible. Of people saying that or making threats or saying shit, but can't take that shit back in response, and they're gonna hide behind the cover of freedom of speech and any other fucking mental gymnastics, or just kind of try to get themselves out of responsibility for what they say. Because there's the thing called you have freedom of speech in the United States, but you also have the freedom of repercussions of your freedom of speech, and people don't understand that portion, and they try to abuse the freedom of speech in order to basically get whatever point they want to get across, and don't allow the opposition to get their point across. So it's kind of like they want to make it seem like they basically checkmated on somebody.
yeah, that's honestly that's basically hitting the nail on the fucking head. People are like, I'm gonna say what I want and nothing's gonna happen to me. That's almost like walking up to a fucking security guard, slapping them in the face and expecting to not get hit in your fucking jaw. That's literally like going up to a damn police officer, hitting him and not expecting him to pick you up and slam you on the fucking ground. People literally don't realize that actions have consequences. Nobody gives a fuck until it happens to them. And we're basically in an age of fuck around and find out. We're literally at that point in our miserable ass lives. And I have to say miserable ass lives because the idiots of the fucking world, or if you're Irish, the Egypts of this world, are literally making the folks that actually have common sense and actual wisdom and intelligence suffer. And I'm known for being blunt, and I tell folks to their face, if you're fucking stupid, you're stupid. Like if you say anything dumb, you're a fucking idiot. Like I'm just gonna be like that. You can't just point in case. We had somebody that worked at our job. She got so pissed off, she decided to go on Facebook, the wrong fucking place to do
it's
anything,
this story.
and posted so much shit about the job. And they found out. She tried to come back to work. They were like, "No, get the fuck out."
So
Another
AJ,
thing.
can I retell the story because I literally was like the fucking spark that ignited the story.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so COVID happens, a whole bunch of people get laid off. I coincidentally got to be determined to be one of the quote essential people, even though I ended up getting laid off for like a week in the end myself.
I remember being essential. Having
Yeah.
to show up where everyone else did it.
So
It was ass.
my workstation, there was a cabinet where it used to be a fucking sink, and they never really closed off the little like or the drain or whatever there, so it always stunk and it was always fucking gross in there. We were really slow one day while I was up there working, so I sent a picture because it was a kind of a meme among the team that this little area is fucking gross. I sent a picture to the team. I was like, I'm getting into the belly of the beast today, y'all, and I got clapped back with
that's good that you're doing something that should have been done a long ass fucking time ago, but some of us don't have really the enjoyment of being able to have a job and a paycheck right now. So why don't you like rethink your insensitivities before you start upsetting people?
Bro, you could have ratioed them so fucking hard in so many ways. I don't
It's like, get your money, I'm not your funny up, idiot, and then fucking.
Well, here's the thing. Is there anyone here other than me that has? Is there anyone here other than me that has an Android and not an iPhone?
I have an
Android. I have an Android.
So y'all know how when iPhone people like or do the reaction thing to messages, it'll just send the same message over again. It says such and such loved this text.
Yeah.
I got that same text twice because the person AJ's talking about loved that text. What happens is that woman who loved the text goes on Facebook and tags the owner of the fucking lab we work at, says, "Thanks, bleep. I hope you enjoy your fucking yacht after I busted my ass at your company and got laid off." The reason I say I was the spark is because there was a guy that was still up there that was messaging her through Facebook after she made that post. And she said, "Why the fuck did he get to stay up there? I work harder than he does." Even though she always made excuses for missing work, I was up there, and Jake will tell you because of the stories he said I was like complaining about being up there all the time. I would work goddamn 9-10 hour days almost every fucking day. So I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? You're a fucking half-assed employee. I'm up here busting my ass, working overtime, doing shit no one else wants to do. You go fuck yourself.
Might have interject.
But go ahead.
So yeah, Miss put that shit right on Facebook or wherever the fuck, or yeah, did she not realize like that's gonna fuck her for her next job? And it's like,
yep,
checkmate,
Absolutely.
you played yourself.
Yeah,
well, this is where it gets crazy.
This is the down south mentality, man. People are very. I'm not saying people are dumb, but people have no shame and way too much pride.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, the owners of the lab let everyone who got laid off come back. No question asked, including her. They were like, "We understand that this is something that no one that's alive has ever seen before. The last thing like it was the fucking plague in the 1910s or whatever."
20s.
Well, there you go. No one's ever dealt with shit like this before. It's a fucking new world. We understand people had some fucking hardships. So you can come back. Bitch was here for 3 fucking days and then quit.
I thought you said they fired her.
Well, see, that's where the story gets a little sketch. She either quit or got fired. But point is, she was there for 3 days.
Okay, so it's 2 different people then, because the one I was talking about, she got so pissy, she got on there, she talked shit, and it circulated, and the person that she was talking about saw the message and sent that message, or didn't send it, but had the higher up see that, and she tried to come back, and they were like, "Nah, fuck you," basically.
Okay, I'm gonna bleep the name anyway. So let me just ask: was it?
No, that bitch can go suck a donkey dick, like real shit.
Okay, so AJ and I weren't
motherfucker.
even talking about the same person. I told that story for no fucking reason. My bad, y'all.
No, it's fun. It was what was her name?
Oh, the one with the disability.
No, not she. No, she.
What the fuck,
No, she had no disability. She's just a fucking stupid cunt. Bleep the name out. But no, it was her. She started talking mad shit, and it got on Facebook and ran her goddamn mouth.
Was it Megan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Was it Alex Jones?
She was really nice, but she was very, like I say, Jake and Mike are opinionated. This bitch was fucking opinionated. They fucking they make she would make Jake and Mike look like fucking liberal snowflakes.
Yeah.
No, those are the ones with opinions. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Looking, listening.
Okay.
Looking, watching through your window, listening to you while you speak into your microphone.
Just casually opens my curtains. Jake, what the fuck you doing out there?
I'm waiting for you to speak. I need you to speak before I climb through your window.
Whenever you're ready, Johnny.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wrote my response in like the aim that it was going to be like in a classroom setting, but like, so I'll just read it. So free speech is great. However, it should also be respectful. Free speech isn't free from repercussions. Say the wrong thing to the wrong person and they might just get physical with you. Then what? You can speak your mind, but you shouldn't be ignorant or rude. If you're unaware or uneducated on a topic, you can be curious and ask. But if you're asking questions that are intentionally rude or trying to provoke someone, then there's a problem.
Those are my favorite questions.
And God, was it bouncing off whoever said, like, you know, saying stuff nowadays, you might just get canceled. God bless the Modern Warfare 2 eras were back in the day. Oh, good lord. I don't know if I'd be in this program.
Bring up the chat logs.
We were truly in a different time.
Modern Warfare 3 is going back to that again.
Yeah, I can see it now. All those old days, I promise you. Got on there, playing with fucking people and like, oh, GG's guys. One dude just comes out the blue. Your mom's a bitch. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
I got
y'all
called slurs.
won.
Just chilling right now.
I learned.
Jake,
I
every
learned
single time you
every.
played Call of Duty.
Yeah, I learned every slur in the book from Call of Duty.
I promise,
Yeah,
bro. I
yeah.
learned them all, and I never knew. I did. I would say this, and I heard it one time. I was playing with a buddy of mine, and this one kid was just salty that he lost. We were just like, GG, good, good. He was like, your mom fucks Nick, and I was like, whoa, wait a second,
Yeah, when me and
wait
Angel
a.
would play, bro, I would be like kind of trolling. I'd be playing like a dickhead, and then it'd be over and I'd be like, all right, good game, guys. And I'm like, I'll fucking kill your old goddamn like shit like that, like screaming at me. It's like, yep, great game. I agree. It was a really good game, guys.
You guys had fun, guys?
Very cool.
I was trying to be super wholesome and shit, and they would come in left field with like the most heinous
Every
fucking
single
shit.
time it was like that.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are ruining it, man. I just wanted to be wholesome. And there was one time we were playing Warzone, and we won, and it was nuts. It was a crazy ending, and I was like, holy fuck, dude, this team they were good as shit or something to that effect. And one of the guys goes, hey man, you guys are really good too. He's like, good game, good win, you deserved it. And I was like, damn, dude. I was like, God damn. I started tearing up a little bit. I was like, I'm not used to getting. I was like, no, man. You know what? Add me as a friend. So then we like kept playing from there on out. It was really fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
Hey, good game. Hey, good game to you too, guys.
The last answer we had here was from Thomas. It says, outside of threats to someone's well-being, it's a great concept. Starts to become a little bit less favorable when somehow we see widespread media of people touting extreme ideas of prejudice towards other groups of people or just obviously awful ideas.
Oh, like extremism.
So with all of that being said,
I got a bonus question, Christian. This one's just for you. How do you feel about Islam?
How do you feel about their cave paintings?
No, shut up. I need to ask him about Islam specific. What do you think about Islam, huh?
as an outspoken agnostic, I feel like every religion has its own right to exist, as long as you're not trying to force your ideas onto everyone else or trying to do extreme shit.
I've learned to hate religion as a whole. What the fuck is that noise? That's the most ominous shit I've ever heard.
He's just turning into a plane
right now.
Jesus Christ.
Stroking this shit. He's horny as fuck.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? He did this text-to-speech shit to me, too? No, I'm not gonna tell them to like the fucking video. Why would I tell them to subscribe for more of the people here? Christian, if you can hear this, your ass is grass. Oh, and back to the show.
This is the whole reason that I moved free speech and education into one topic. Here is a abbreviated clip. I'm going to play this or send y'all this clip, and then afterwards I'm going to ask y'all some questions, and then I'll send you the full video. Because I do feel like when you try to send people clips of stuff without further context, it does kind of saturate the message. So here is a gentleman showing up at a town hall meeting to let a school board know what he thinks of them. It's posting into booth 1 now.
I thought you were gonna say posting Malone.
Posting these
Shut up.
Malones.
Yeah, post these Malones.
Oh man!
Call them cowards.
Fat, ugly women.
Oh,
What?
excuse you.
What?
Can we skip the agenda?
No,
No.
They're fat, ugly women is what they are. Let's talk about it.
We're not having that.
You don't have to. Bye.
That ain't free speech.
It's called free speech. Bye.
That's not free speech. That's insulting.
Bye. That's good. Shut up.
Okay, everybody.
And we wonder why children are retarded stupid today. We wonder why. We wonder why when we have these
Holy
pathetic
shit!
people here called teachers rape the children's mind. And if you people are too stupid to know what rape is, it's called
You know what?
control.
That's gonna be me when I retire.
It's called free speech. Bye.
Wow,
That man went in, bro.
he did, and I'm not even mad that he did that. That was
What
that
the
was-
fuck?
Damn,
Did somebody just drop me from the call?
Damn, that was so base and knocked his ass out.
Yeah.
So, my two questions for y'all is first of all, to what aspect of education do you think he's referring to?
I don't know.
Probably high school or not even actually probably elementary, some shit like that.
Probably something to do with like social constructs.
Probably gonna do something with what I said earlier. I'm a fucking or fucking the outline.
I have a feeling. I don't know, man. Shit like this, it's always has something to do with like not SJW. I don't want to say that because that's a meme.
Societal issues.
Yeah, like things that you shouldn't be talking to children about. Like the children are there to be introduced into the education system and understand like base constructs and base ideas, not going into crazy fucking issues that are being like politicized and discussed at a like national level. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to be including kids into fucking politics at the like in elementary school. That's not how that should happen. And it's probably something to do with that. But the fact that he's saying fat women, he might be just it might be like a PE thing. I don't know. It might be a physical education standard. I have no idea. This man seems unhinged.
Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
I'm just like, honestly and truthfully, when will education actually be about the children again? Like, and hear me out on the question. Like, legit, we've all been in school and we've had those moments of where it's like the teachers are like, oh, well, I'm going to teach the kids this and I'm going to teach them that because I think it's going to be something great for them to learn. When in all honesty, it really isn't. Like, why the fuck would we have to learn about, certain topics inside of there that have absolutely no fucking place for us to be taught shit? Like, I've watched a video on YouTube like a few months ago, and one of the ladies on the board of education was teaching like children, like minors and shit, about like fellatios and shit like that.
What?
Like, what in the fuck? Like, a board member was literally teaching. They had books inside of the libraries, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to find that video and send it to you. But they were teaching them about like fellatios and shit like that, and even on some of the tests and shit that they put, they're teaching them other stuff that they shouldn't be teaching them. Like, when will education be about the kids again? It's like you turn around, they're like, oh, well, these test scores are high like this and these test scores aren't, so we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Nobody's giving a fuck about how the kids are like going through school and they're stressing out and they're getting upset about stuff that they don't get. The teachers are getting to a point to where they literally don't give a fuck about the children and stuff like that. And like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier. Children are dropping out trying to find a fucking escape. Where the fuck are they gonna go? The goddamn streets. What the fuck are they gonna do? Fit in them with the motherfuckers that are already out there. It's fucking sad. It's like nobody's really truly giving a fuck about the ones that actually matter. The next goddamn generation. People are acting like eat, drink, be merry, for tomorrow we die. All of these other folks are literally doing whatever the fuck that they can to fuck everything up before they leave and leave it to the next generation who won't know what the fuck to do or where to start at. Because we're not teaching them the right goddamn thing. We're not going to them and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in their mind. We're not trying to help them out mentally and get them emotionally fit and prepared. You got kids that are dealing with shit at home that they try to find comfort and tell a teacher about. Teachers not giving a shit because they're not trying to teach them anything. I miss my old teachers because I promise you, if there was something that was going on, they busted their goddamn ass to fucking fix it and figure it out. These new age generation teachers and shit, excluding the ones that actually genuinely care, they don't give a fuck about it. They just want a goddamn paycheck. And then they make these goddamn studies and shit way too hard for folks. They don't want to take their time with the one kid that's literally struggling and don't want to teach or don't want to, that can't comprehend things quick as everybody else can. Hell, I'm a fucking product of that. I got held back. I got held back in the first fucking grade. The only reason that I got held back is because of a goddamn ADHD mind. And that shit is a killer when you're trying to focus and you can't do that shit. You can put a test in front of me, I'll fail that motherfucker because I'm thinking about what the fuck I'm gonna do when I get out of school. It's a lot of shit that affects kids nowadays, and nobody's truly giving a fuck about it. And it actually pisses me the fuck off because there are folks that want their children to succeed and to pass and to get there, and they're getting to a point to where they're just most likely going to take their kid out of school and do a homeschool thing where it's always one-on-one. Some kids got social anxiety. They can't learn in front of a whole bunch of people. Point in case, I'm the product of that too. It's a lot of shit that goes on. And when you try to talk out on it, like I hate to use it, but that man right there, when he was talking out on it, he was voicing his opinion. A little misguided, a little unhinged, but goddamn, he was talking. A lot of people don't want to do that shit. And then if they do that shit, they're going to be swiftly exited out. It's all backwards. It's all bullshit. It's fucking terrible. Like it's so goddamn bad to where you can see a kid, they're struggling, and you look at them and you want to help, but you can't do it because either the teacher or the parent will get into it and they'll be like, you can't fucking do that, you can't do that. I'm like, well, do your fucking job. And you won't have to have a goddamn complete stranger trying to teach you how to help your own fucking child out.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. This literal nation is turning into a pile of dog shit. The education system is fucking people up. We got the wrong people on the goddamn board. We got the wrong fucking teachers in there, not teaching them jack shit. And then if you try to be a social like warrior or somebody that's good and kind-hearted to try to help, they look at you like you're the fucking villain. So yeah, it's all ass backwards. It literally pisses me off, and it's garbage. It's all fucking garbage.
So I don't want to take too much time on this, but I also don't want to snub the people who haven't said anything. Mike and Johnny, is there anything that you wanted to add before we moved on to the other question?
No.
No, yeah, kind of in agreement. I think be like, how would I word this? My buddy at work, his dad, so he's probably around, I don't know, 60 or whatnot. He's got a quote. He said, he says at work, good help's been hard to find since the war, right? And so to me, that means it's like society itself has gotten very, God, I don't want to like be the old guy yelling at the sky, but really soft on a lot of things.
Society has gotten softer. I'll say it.
Right.
This is an open forum, Johnny. Just say what's on your mind. If you want me to bleep something in post, I'll bleep it. Say what's on your mind, and if you want me to take it out, I will.
Yeah, you can be as racist as you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angel and Christian are really good about that one.
Yeah.
I'm not Christian. I don't say the N word or T-Mobile. Like it's like fucking my.
Are you
my
sure you
father.
don't say Nick? No, okay, let's keep going.
Let the man speak,
Only,
please.
only when he's playing League of Legends.
Yeah, only when that's the only time it's appropriate.
Johnny, continue.
Yeah, I just feel like someone was mentioning about like people these days don't have like much resilience, and no one's really being taught that, and there's a huge disconnect between what school teaches and then how unrealistically that reflects the reality of life. And I don't know, I feel like the whole education system, in a way, I see what they are trying to do. I just think the way they are going about it is wrong. And I feel like, for example, when I mentioned that students here in BC, you can't fail grade 8 or 9, I have a professor who told me that apparently, I'm putting big air quotes on this one, there was a study that showed that holding students back didn't help them, but is the alternative of just pushing them through that much better.
And expecting they know what's going to happen, like what comes next.
Yeah, and it's like, what are we really doing here, right? I feel like education is really doing a big disservice to students, and it seems that no matter what people say, no one really wants to step up and address it or make these hard choices to be like, no, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do this or maybe we should do that, right? That's really it.
Fair enough. The other question here I have is, without the complete context of what he's trying to articulate, do you agree or disagree with his statements and views?
What, him calling them fat women?
Just
I
in
mean, I guess
general.
they're fat.
That's like 90% of what he said, and then he just said raping their minds, bro. Like he didn't really give context to
it wasn't
anything.
really without the context. It's just literally.
I didn't have any context. What
Yeah,
context did you get?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's without context. It's literally just like a guy being unhinged.
Yeah, it's just a guy fucking yelling about raping minds of children.
So, with that being said, I have the entire 6.5 minute video of him standing up there talking. It's in booth 1 now.
So predictable from our area. It doesn't matter. It does matter. Because that's what happens. That's the process. It doesn't work like that.
I like that sweater though.
Good evening, cowards. Rick Hebert, 97 Spruce Lane.
Even Karis
Nice to
is
see
XXX
a bunch of fat,
tendonitis.
ugly women.
Shut up!
Oh,
What?
excuse you.
What?
Can we stick to the agenda?
No,
Shut up.
no,
I'm
no,
speaking.
no.
They're fat, ugly women is what they are.
We're not having that.
Let's talk about it.
This is let's talk about.
You don't have to buy.
That ain't free speech.
It's called free speech. Buy.
That's not free speech. That's
not free speech.
That's good. Shut up.
The way he said it is like that. Actually.
Okay, everybody, stop.
That guy's really staring at this old man's ass.
Hebert.
Look at the guy
Speak,
right
please.
behind him. He's like in
Enough.
there.
Go ahead, Rick.
He said he's
We
in
wonder why
there.
children
Look at
are
that man. He's like,
retarded,
man, that's a
stupid
fucking
today.
fine
We
ass old
wonder
man.
why. We wonder why when we have these
Retarded
pathetic
stupid today.
people here called teachers rape the children's mind. And if you people are too stupid to know what rape is, it's called control, you morons.
Are you speaking directly to the book?
Yes, I
Because
am.
okay,
It reflects
focus
off
on the
that
book.
wall there and comes back into your ears. Imagine
Focus
that.
on the book, please, because that's what Citizens Forum is
I'm
about.
talking
here.
about the book.
Okay.
I'm talking about the stupidity of the people who want the book in the high school. That's what I'm talking about. The retards that we have in our community.
I don't know that we need to allow this kind of
Yeah,
abusive
this is
speech.
abusive
I'm not aware of what the process
Please,
is, but
go ahead
I
and
think we have
violate
a
my
right to.
constitutional
He sounds like
rights.
Rocky's
I
trainer.
dare you.
Get out, Brock.
Well,
Yeah.
That's
not
Dare you.
say
Violate
something,
my constitutional rights. Go ahead.
Mr. Hebert.
I hate
would you
people who just back
say
up on
something
constitutional
specific
rights.
about the book so that we can let you continue speaking rather than
constitutional
making
rights.
these generalities
Can I get there?
Can I get there? Yeah.
Can I get there?
really fast.
No, there's no fast. You
I'm
don't
saying
tell me how to
fast.
speak.
Excuse me?
You don't tell me how to speak.
Well,
Now
yeah,
be
I am
quiet and
telling
give me
you.
my
I'm
5
telling
minutes.
you how to speak in this situation.
Yeah.
Shut up and give me my
Point
5
of order.
minutes.
I'd like to propose a
Sit
recess.
sit down, please.
I'd like to propose
My
a
5
recess.
Now, don't interrupt me. This is my constitutional
Dr.
right
Meaver,
to
point of
speak,
order.
and if
I'd
you
like to
ugly
propose a
people don't
recess.
like
This
it,
is unacceptable.
Huh, imagine
I
that.
propose a recess.
Oh, cowards.
Okay. Do I have a motion to recess?
I move to recess.
Bye,
All in
girls.
favor of recessing? Yeah, maybe sit down and take a breath.
No, I have the
Okay,
right
then
to
you can
speak to
continue
You
speaking,
people
but
are
we're
stupid.
recessing. So
Great intermission music.
This is 2013.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes and
Oh,
51.
you sure?
2 minutes and 51 seconds.
2
I'm
minutes and
keeping
50.
time.
That's almost 3 minutes.
That-
Okay, so you got,
Hold on a second now. Is that through the interruptions from these clowns here? Does that include that, or are you gonna give me back
you
that
know
time?
what,
keeping the
let's
time.
give him a full 3 minutes.
Ooh, wow, 7 seconds?
Yeah. I
Time's
think that was
ticking.
9.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Is it
welcome.
starting?
Ready?
Go for it.
Is it starting? Okay.
Yes.
So, I was going on that I don't believe you clowns are helping the citizens of the city of Dover. See, what happens is, and I've been looking at this for quite a while now, and it's so ugly and true. It's really gross. See, what happens is
So ugly.
teachers teach children, okay? And then those children grow up, and they have brains. And then adults with brains, I'm getting there, you calm down now, calm down.
I'm calm. I'm just trying to get you to
Don't
the
interrupt
point.
me, you're interrupting me again.
Sorry.
Let the man cook.
Now, give me 15
Let
seconds.
him cook.
That's just say sorry. Like, she just should have said shit.
Keep going.
So these children grow up and become adults, and now they're just as stupid as they were taught, right? Or just as smart as they were taught. And so what happens is we all become dumber and dumber and dumber. And we don't even have the brains right now in our society to see that this book is not worthy to be where it is. I've heard a lot of people talk about sexual assault, but I haven't heard anybody say that they were. Maybe you did. No, I can't remember.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Take it easy.
But anyway, there's a difference between people talking about it and people who have been through it, okay? So when you go through it, you know what the difference is and where up is up and down is down and left is left and right is right and wrong is wrong. And you people are dumb people. You're not smart enough to know that you should take this book out and put it in the, potentially put it in the regular library.
And you're the pinnacle of intelligence.
You have 1 minute.
Yo,
Man's got that like most basic language for saying you guys are dumb. I'm not dumb. Look at you, you're dumb.
So anyway, that's why we have a bunch of morons.
I just wanted to have somebody say, "Yo, shut the fuck up, let them cook."
Being
Just let 'em cook.
stupid people and communist people.
Oh my God.
Indoctrinating people. That's why you people don't have the brains to see that this could be hurting children of the future who are going to grow up and be just as dumb as you people.
Oh my God.
And brings up 0 points about the actual thing.
He's like, he makes no points
You
at
have
all.
21 seconds.
You're dumb. Don't
So
put this
there's
in.
nothing
This makes
that's
people
gonna
dumb.
change here. You communists are going to do what you do, and the public is just going
I
to.
love the audible. Oh God.
And at some point,
Mhm.
But you stupid motherfucker.
This Lily let this old man cook, and he's gonna do it.
Extinguished?
That's what happens.
Time.
Yeah, we're all extinguished.
Thank you.
That's your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, communists. Have a good night.
Thank you, communist.
I wish someone clapped.
Yeah, I was
Anyone else for
hoping for a
Citizens
clap
Forum?
or a round of applause.
Yeah.
So that was dumb, and I don't know why you showed us that.
Yeah, that was more a waste of time. Like,
Because he didn't make a single fucking valid argument or point.
he just aired
That's
his,
my
he-
point
He
exactly.
aired
Like,
his grievance, but like that's a I don't get why like he was able to get his freedom of speech used, and like I don't get how it relates to our prompt right now.
it's exactly that. Like,
You know what? I know why you don't get it. Because you're dumb.
Stupid.
Dumb communist. Communism America.
Oh, shit.
Fucking communist
How do
people.
I stop watching this?
You
I figured it out.
stupid.
So-
brains.
You stupid. You ain't got the brains. You stupid fucking people. With your stupidness.
With your fucking stupid ass eyebrows.
Yeah, so I think if you're trying to make the argument that like, hey, freedom of speech is great, but have something to say if you're going to say it, yeah, I agree.
yes, yes,
Like,
exactly.
don't just go around because I mean, like that even just destroys your argument if you can't, not use ad hominem in your fucking in one statement. Like if you're just like, are you fucking like any debate I've ever gotten into with people that I work with, they're like, are you fucking dumb? Are you a fucking idiot? And that's when I'm like, all right, well, I'm not listening anymore, bro. Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
that's stupid. Why would you try to assault the people that you're trying to get a point across to? It's dumb. Verbally assault, not assault, but
Like, sometimes you literally have to walk away from people that do shit like that because you'll probably catch a whole fucking, like, murder charge or a fucking just an assault charge and go to jail because people will push your fucking button.
my thing that I do when people say, "Are you fucking dumb?" I'm like, "All right, then give me your then you provide me exactly why it is that I am dumb and why you were right in this case." 9 times out of 10, they don't have an actual argument. It's just what they've heard, and they're reiterating a fucking argument that they've heard before. It's not an actual belief system in their own, not something that they came up with through critical thinking.
See, along that same line of thought, this is something I've been saying for a long time. This is why I don't actually mind when I have like an argument or a debate or discussion with Jake, is because he actually asks, well, what's your point? when people are arguing and debating, too often we're asking the wrong questions or saying the wrong things. We let our own personal thoughts, viewpoints, and emotions get in the way, and it dissolves from, well, we're discussing this topic, to, no, you're a fucking idiot. I ain't got time for this.
Well, people don't think so. People don't listen to like respond. They listen to react. Like they're just listening to talk, right? They're just waiting their turn. It's not like I'm trying to comprehend what you're saying so I can give you a response. It is literally just waiting their turn to speak.
And you know,
That's why I don't debate with people, is because they don't fucking care about what you actually think. They're just waiting for their turn.
The fucked up thing about it is one of the biggest brands on people that do shit like that is a goddamn narcissist. And I fucking promise you, there's no way in hell that you will be able to get a point across, your point across, or even the goddamn truth across to somebody that will not even give a fuck to listen. Because they'll tell you day in and day fucking out. It's like, oh, you don't get my side, like you don't understand this and you don't get this, and well, this is what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck about what you're saying. My point is gonna get across and it's gonna be heard. They can have the dumbest fucking argument in the world. You can tell them that the sky is blue. They will argue with you and say that it's off green. And they're gonna tell you some stupid shit, and it's going to push you to a point to where you get out of your goddamn character and you want to haul off and smack them. So when somebody is talking about, oh, I got the freedom of speech and I got this and I got that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you speak. Just say what you got to say, get it off your goddamn chest. And when you see me walking off, I'm done with the conversation. Because the longer you wait to like interject and to tell somebody anything, or I either respond to understand instead of respond to just say something, it's going to just dumb you down. It's going to drain you. It's going to piss you off, and it's going to make you want to unalive a motherfucker. Like, that's just honesty.
Make me get some large fries, motherfucker.
Like, what that old dude did, it's just like, you have a podium, like, you have the floor. You literally have a way to talk to everybody, but you got up there, you made yourself look like a fucking idiot.
Yep.
And you didn't make any valid fucking point to anything that was there. That's what I was talking about. We give the wrong people a fucking voice. We give the wrong people a fucking
We
stand.
give dumb people an outlet to say dumb shit.
And look at all of the shit that comes from that. We literally give the wrong people shit to fucking say. Or we give them the wrong fucking place to be. It's like, oh, you stupid fat ladies, you dumb fucking ignorant people with the stupid fucking book. Say something intelligent. Just don't get up there and just shit out your mouth in front of every goddamn body. To be honest with you, if I was there, I probably would have slapped the cag on him and just knocked him the fuck down. Because stupidity, I hate stupidity. I promise you. Above all else, I hate stupidity more than I hate Karens. And that says something. It kills. It literally kills people. And you can tell when somebody's stupid by the shit that they say out their goddamn mouth. It's just like, I'll say it like this. You got your chick, you know you loyal as fuck to your chick, you don't do shit, you fall asleep or something like that, and the first thing out of mouth, you talking to some other bitch. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, now everything starts to make sense. You're doing this and you're doing that. That's why you can't text back so fast. And you just sit there and you listen to them talk, and it's just like, are you really that fucking stupid? You can give somebody the truth 1,000,000 times over, but if they don't let it click into their goddamn mind, they're just stupid. And at that point in time, you can literally just be like, you know what? You're a fucking idiot. You're dumb. It's like, don't call me stupid. Well, stop giving me shit that proves my fucking point. Everybody
doing things that make you look stupid.
Stop doing things. Stop saying things. Stop assuming things that make you look stupid. That's it. Stupidity.
Case in point, why we're here talking about this.
What's the point?
Even though this channel, CMJ Entertainment, has 8 subscribers and hardly any views, we have done more to help education in the last like 2.5 hours than that man did in those 6 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You stupid fucking people. You fat ladies. You
retard.
You chubby
To
neck
answer the
bitches.
man's own question, it's because of people like that who take civil liberties for granted and misuse and abuse them to not make a lick of fucking progress, complaining about stuff that are real issues but not saying anything at all, is why these kids are so retarded, as he put it. That's why we're here. I actually had extracted a bunch of comments from the YouTube and Reddit posts of that video and the subsequent clip, and had also thrown in some caption this in case we had time. But this is shaping up to be one of the longest episodes we've had, and this might even be longer than the end of the year special. So we're going to zoom straight into the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh,
Right,
bro,
at the end of this, don't forget to drop in your favorite porn video links so we have something.
Yes.
Get that engagement in the comments.
AJ's running out of material. Send help.
I'm just saying.
So, for Johnny and for Angel, who thinks that we're supposed to have a problem with it every time I post it, what the light at the end of the tunnel is after a long episode of heated discussions, rating AI like we do in other episodes, and other stupid buffoonery that this man would probably hate.
How about one more prompt? How about the N word?
No.
For freedom of speech. Should that be protected with freedom of speech?
What?
I'll let the one man with a valid opinion on this speak. Go ahead.
I want to hear the white people
fucking video. So go ahead and say it. If you want to say it so bad, I'll say it with you.
Yeah, I love that.
What was the fucking question? I'm sorry. God, are we doing this?
No.
I don't think we're gonna do this.
No, you're good.
He's memeing.
I was memeing.
Johnny,
If you want me to say it, I'll say it.
No, please. We've got to get this shit done. So y'all go do your drunk Helldivers too.
And
I forgot I was supposed to get high throw all of a sudden.
God damn it!
Supposed to get high.
But the light at the end of the tunnel is a palate cleanser. It's to kind of have a wholesome moment at the end of everything that we've talked about here tonight. And for tonight, I have for y'all a clip that was on Reddit as, quote, true love. In this clip, a man has come home New Year's Eve after a long, grueling day of work. His wife is sick, and she's trying to calm down their newborn baby who won't calm down. Dude just goes in and becomes like the best fucking husband. He goes in there and becomes like the best husband ever. Here's your clip.
Child.
It's posting in Booth 1 now.
Eat the baby. Kill the baby.
There. Fuck.
Hey.
Wait, hold on, let me capture. It says a scene from the 2024 New Year's Eve surveillance. That's what love is all about. Wait, what? He was shocked to see his wife's.
I just don't like the AI subtitles of like.
Yo, what's he wearing? What are
They're
those shoes?
Chinese.
That man wore his flip flops into the.
No, they're fucking house shoes. There's specific house shoes.
Damn, she is being dramatic as fuck.
Damn.
I hate it because it's fake and it's Chinese, and if it's not fake, then those surveillance cameras are directed to the CCP.
This is what our nation's all about.
I like his apron though.
Is he eating fish?
He's about to go jerk off. What's he doing?
The classic. We turn everything that could be wholesome into not wholesome.
I want some pot stickers, bro. Give me some pot stickers. I want a wife that makes me pot stickers.
I just want a wife.
Pot witters? Yeah, that's definitely fake and Chinese.
Yeah, that's the Chinese propaganda. That is actual Chinese propaganda, and you fell for it, Christian. Get
Damn,
fucked.
dude. You really got to ruin the day like that.
On that note, it's time for the outro. Let's go
right.
Let's go alphabetical. So AJ, give me the first thing that comes to mind. Doesn't matter what it is.
Disregard women, acquire currency.
Disregard women, acquire currency.
If you can't afford stuff,
okay, I see
get
what
rid
you're
of
saying.
women.
All right. Next, alphabetically would be skipping me because I have to go last because I got to plug everybody. Would be Jake. No. Angel.
I
Angel
don't
would
know
be
what
next.
fucking alphabet you're working with. I know your education system was like you couldn't pay attention on your computers and shit.
Hey, that was me. I said that, not him. You're using me against me, or him against me right now.
Him against you.
You know what? You're being a real big nit.
If you really want to make money in life, don't do women.
Starting to see a theme here.
Now it's Jake's turn.
Listen, drugs, don't do kids.
I think of all the things that we've said tonight, I really think that people, certain people in this chat, need to get their lives together and start realizing that life is too short not to take risks and to get out of your comfort zone. And I hate having to continuously tell friends of mine that shit, that think that life was handed to me and that I didn't, go out and bust my fucking ass for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. I worked in the coal mines when I was younger,
Wow.
And
Uganda.
Soft hands, brother.
And I see like Christian, and part of the reason he doesn't want to see me in person is because he knows that the first thing I'm going to do is grab him by the hands and say, "Why are they so soft?"
Oh my god.
They feel like you dip your hands wrist deep in some lotion every day for hours a day. If you catch my drift.
What if he does?
So that's what I have to say.
Who uses lotion? We know Vaseline is the. You know what? Never mind.
Hey,
Continue.
shut up, cocoa butter, man! Get the fuck out of here.
Cocoa butter? You talking to me about cocoa butter?
Seemed to racially charge that one.
We invent. You know what? Never mind.
So you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna do this right now. Who invented cocoa butter? It was a white man named Conrad Johannes van Houten.
No, his name was Bernie.
And he is from Amsterdam.
Last name Mac?
No. I know where he was going with this. I knew exactly where he was going with this.
All right, Johnny, it's your turn. First thing that comes to mind does not matter what the context is.
Skibbity toilet.
I hate you, Johnny. You're never invited back.
Damn.
Hey, was this supposed to be a debate the whole time?
I don't get it, Angel.
No, that's an actual question.
I think it was supposed to be a debate, but we all kind of agreed, so that did not happen.
I'm just making sure. Don't need to get off.
I think the only person that we all disagreed with was Christian.
And then lastly, Mike, your closing words.
Just to spite Jake, Yacht, Ohio.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Did you really? Oh, you know what? Never mind.
All right, even though I just fell out my chair, let's go ahead and close this out.
Your chair. Are you okay?
I was rocking back and forth in it. I fucked around and found out.
So it's all your fault?
No, that's the real reason why I didn't come through on his end. Is because he was on the ground going.
All right. You can find AJ Alfred Solidus on Twitch. You can find Mike at Shut Your Face on Twitch. You can find Jake on Shut Your Face. Or Shut Your Face. God damn it.
Wow, you gave him 2 shout-outs. I'm gonna shut your fucking face there, buddy. I'm gonna shut it with my cock.
You can find Jake at Underpass Joe on Twitch. You can find Angel at whatever he would like to plug, as well as occasionally.
I had to say it myself just because I'm a fucking minority. I see.
Well, I don't know what you want to plug. I threw you in Jake's plug last episode, and you flamed me about it for 5 minutes.
What you get?
Yeah,
plug your shit.
It's what you deserve.
What you get?
Oh, it's what I get now. Can I get $500?
No, you know what you can get? Fucked after what you did to me this weekend when we were playing Halo.
Hey,
you son of a bitch.
I was trying to make it entertaining because that shit was boring.
Bro, it was a good time, but you fuckers kept dying and making me chug beers, bro. That became unbearable for me. Towards the end, when Chewie was like, "Oh, my pussy hurts," I was like, "Bro, fuck this." I was like, "Chewie, suck my fucking dick. I'm suffering."
I was drinking with you, not with you. But I was with.
I was hurting. I was in a lot of pain this weekend, boys. It was not a good time.
After that, I had shitted real fucking bad. I had diarrhea because those were expired beers.
I was not hungover the next morning, but I did not feel good.
I was not hungover either. I just slept really nicely for a long time. So for my butt plugs,
wow.
You'll find me gooning in underpass.
Oh my fucking god!
I don't know what the word means yet. I'm still trying to learn.
Oh my goon!
Yeah.
I remember I called Chewy a gooner like 30 times. He was like, "Bro, I am not." I was like, "Yeah, you went silent because you're gooning, huh?" And his chat was flaming him at the same time, bro.
Oh my god!
All right, and lastly, Johnny.
I threw up on stream the other night, bro.
Oh, and I didn't see it.
That's how bad, bro. That's how bad the drunk live stream or the drinking challenge for Halo went. I threw up on myself. It was no, that's not. I was.
He had to drink a lot because.
Dude, I had to chug 3 beers in like 2 minutes, bro. I was like, God, you fucking assholes. And then before that, I was at a concert out here, and I had drank 2 double Jack and Cokes before I came home, and then I drank 4 of those Michelob coconut water seltzers, and then I think I got 5 Coors Deep before I threw up on myself because the Coors hit the back of my throat in a weird way.
Why the fuck?
I'll hit the back of your throat in a weird way.
I bet you will, fuck boy.
Johnny, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I can sometimes be found as a guest on Spec Your Faces Twitch streams.
All right. Subscribe to CAMJ Entertainment today and follow all of the aforementioned Twitch platform users. My closing words is fix your fucking education, quit letting retarded kids go through, and maybe we might survive as a fucking race. This has been the Internet Bum. It's been the Internet Bum Show. Thank you and good night.
He said,
"Good night, everybody. We love you. We love you. Bye.
Love you. Mean it.
Bye.